back, everybody. We're on to the second hour of tonight's Black Friday Supercard. Man alive, that first hour was pretty hot. And if you enjoyed the first, we're pretty sure you're gonna enjoy this next hour too. So hang out, because we've got 3 big matches coming up.
Yep, 3 more explosive matches, 2 of which have championship implications. One of those showcase matchups is going to feature our WL International Champion, Big Jake Blackwell of the Stronghold, defending the international belt against Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig. And to end our two with a bang, we've got Lei Fen Staytall, set to defend the Ladies Tag Trio belts from the future Endeavor.
Talking about ladies matches, we're gonna start the second hour with a ladies tag that's gonna definitely get some eyes on it, even with no champions or titles involved.
Christy is talking about the very, very buzzworthy Las Venas Latinas, Josie Rod and Lisa Rivera. Tonight, they're going to see if they can maintain that undefeated streak against 2 Hall of Famers in Ivory and Jacqueline. And that is going to be a match worth checking out. Stick around, this is going to be good.
You sure sound like you're feeling a whole lot better now, Myron.
That's right, I am. Thank you.
And you can content yourself with the fact that we will not see Too Short anymore tonight.
This next ladies tag team match is set for 1 fall with a 20-minute time limit. Making their way down to the ring, here are the Team of Ivory and Jacqueline Moore.
2 ladies that helped redefine ladies wrestling all throughout the late 90s and early 2000s, Jacqueline and Ivory, and what a team they are. And they are set to face the undefeated pairing of Josie Rod and Lisa Rivera, who are certainly going to face a run for their money in this ladies tag team matchup.
Yeah, I kind of thought, it's great that Las Venas have picked up all of these wins against all these other tag teams. But for this Supercard, we needed to see something new, something special. And so I came up with the idea of Jacqueline and Ivory. And so here we are. This is going to be a great matchup.
Well, it's true they've been tested against all kinds of ladies tag teams, but these 2 Hall of Famers, well, that is definitely something special, Myron. And I was thinking.
And their opponents from San Juan, Puerto Rico, the team of Josie Rod and Lisa Rivera, Las Venas Latinas. I don't know for sure, since Las Venas have been basically unstoppable. But against 2 Hall of Fame gals that helped shape what women's wrestling is today, I think you may have painted Josie and Lisa into a corner with this one. Because if anyone has the tools to hand Las Venas their first loss, it would be Ivory and Jackie. But if Las Venas wins this one too, I think we all better face the fact that they may be headed for Ladies Tag Gold sooner than anyone could have expected.
All right, it'll be Ivory and Josie starting this one off. And here we go with our 2. Walt Rothburn rings the bell, and here we go. Ivory catches the shot from Josie. Josie quickly countered by Ivory. Josie quickly counters Ivory. A shot to the back and another. Josie Rod whips Ivory to the Las Venas corner. Moves in on her. Ivory quickly counters, finds her way out, takes out Lisa Rivera in the process. How about that? Josie whipped to the opposing team's corner. Josie Rod hung up in the tree of woe by Ivory. Oof, big time kick right to the chest. As Ivory rounds up Josie Rod, they lock it up, they tussle. Josie shoves her back. Oh man, nice crucifix by Josie Rod. Josie rounds up Ivory. Ivory slams her face first into the mat. Ivory counter whipped over the top rope out onto the apron. Josie Rod turns it over to Lisa Rivera. Ivory makes her way back inside the ring. Here's a backbreaker to Lisa from Ivory. Ivory drags Lisa towards her team's corner. Tags in Jackie. And this is going to be good. Jackie's one of the toughest women in the business. Lisa Rivera escorts her to the corner, but Jackie counters with elbows to the midsection. A chop, and a chop right back from Lisa. A kick to the midsection from Jackie. Jackie quickly rounds her up for a scoop slam, but no dice. There's a shot to the back of the head from Lisa Rivera. A quick counter and a kick to the midsection from Jackie. Jackie whips her to her team's corner. Lisa counters with a kick. Jackie counters with an elbow. Lisa counters with a right. Whole lot of countering going on here. Jackie shoved to the Las Reinas corner. Counters and escapes the corner. Gets a hold of Lisa. Whips her to her team's corner again. And here comes Ivory on the tag, and here comes a nasty double team. Look at this. Jackie on the top rope. There's a Hurricane Rana and a power bomb too. As Ivory takes over for her team, Lisa Rivera laid out near center ring. Ivory goes to work on the head and neck area of Lisa Rivera. Slams her head down to the mat. Follows it up with a leg drop across the throat. And Lisa Rivera rounded up but a quick counter and an uppercut to Ivory. But this right here, whip to the corner is Ivory. Ivory counters, escapes the corner again. There's an elbow from Lisa, who misses with the kick. Ivory connects with the right. Delivers a couple of shots. Lisa into the corner. There's a clothesline that takes Lisa Rivera down. And Ivory stalking Lisa Rivera, who's a little bit slow to get up here. Whew. Hard right takes her down. Ivory still targeting Lisa here. Oh, no you don't. Look at this quick counter. And into an ankle lock. Lisa Rivera countered by Ivory, who escapes the hold. Ivory with a snap suplex on Lisa Rivera, and here's a pin. Almost a 2. But Josie right there to break it up, and we just lost the referee. Poor Walt Rothburn. Man needs hazardous duty pay. Over the top rope and out on the apron, down goes Lisa. Ivory on the top turnbuckle. The referee beginning to stir here. So is Lisa Rivera, who makes it to a standing position on the outside, and misses with the crossbody. Ivory crashes and burns. Catches a kick from Lisa. A crucifix on the outside. With Walt Rothburn already counting. Lisa countered by Ivory. Couple of hard rights. Lisa counters with a kick to the midsection. Into the ring post time, into the ring post time, into the ring post time, into the ring post time. Snap suplex from Ivory to Lisa Rivera. Lisa rounded up. Fireman's carry to Ivory from Lisa. And nice suplex. Lisa Rivera really working on Ivory on the outside here. Ivory quickly counters. Gets a hold of Lisa Rivera into a front cradle. And drives her into the ring post one more time, but we only get the song one time per match. Ivory doing a little bit of showboating here. A forearm from Ivory. Gets a hold of Lisa by the hair. Rolls her back inside the ring. And, an elbow right to the head. And a leg drop across the throat. Hell, Ivory and Jackie definitely playing to win here. Lisa whipped to the corner. A clothesline and a bulldog combo from Ivory. Wow, man, this one's been good so far. Lisa rounded up over the shoulders of Ivory, and slammed down into a driver. Here's a pin. 1. Josie right there to break it up with a kick to the back to Ivory. Lisa Rivera counters with a jawjacker, backs Ivory off. Goes behind on Ivory. German suplex. Ivory rolls to the outside. Lisa Rivera definitely showing out here, but catches a face buster for all that showboating. And Ivory goes for another pin. 1. Not even a 2. Josie Rod right there to break it up. Ivory gets her in a dragon sleeper. Josie counters it. Delivers an elbow to Jackie as Ivory returns to work on Lisa. Catches a jawjacker. Lisa Rivera with a drop kick takes Ivory down to the mat. Jackie getting involved here, but getting out of the ring too. Lisa with a one-arm suplex to Ivory. Ivory tags in Ms. Jacqueline, and here we go. Jackie with a drop kick takes her down. Lisa rounded up by Jacqueline. Jacqueline whips her to her team's corner, misses with the driving knee. Lisa gets out of the way. Another crucifix from Lisa Rivera to Jackie. And a stomp to the back follows that up. Lisa Rivera starts going to work on Jacqueline Moore. Ivory still not at her corner. Lisa whips Jackie to her team's corner. Jackie counters with a kick. Lisa counters with an elbow. Lines up the arm. Up wrist lock. Jacqueline counters with a couple of shots to the midsection. Backs her off. Lisa catches a forearm. Counters with a forearm of her own. Gets a hold of Jacqueline for the suplex, but Jacqueline says, no, I'm not going to do that. A couple of shots to the head of Lisa Rivera. An arm drag from Lisa to Jackie. Jackie rounds her up. Pitches her over the top rope and out onto the floor. And feeling pretty good about it, apparently. Okay. Yeah, oh, Las Reinas. Definitely hot. Here comes Josie Rod again on the tag. As Jacqueline makes it back to a standing position, Josie's not going to wait. Takes herself to the outside. Rounds Jacqueline up over the shoulders. Samoan drop on the floor. Walt Rothburn already counting. Jacqueline quickly counters, escapes, delivers a kick. A shot that Josie takes her down to the floor. Josie Rod rounded up by Miss Jackie. Jacqueline catches elbows to the midsection from Josie. Josie countered by Jacqueline. Jacqueline countered by Josie. A whole lot of countering in this match. This has been crazy, huh? Josie Rod finally gets Jacqueline back inside the ring. Delivers a stomp to the leg. What are we going to see here? She's setting up a little project here. Double knees into the mat from Josie Rod. Jacqueline counters with a kick to the knee of Josie. Lines it up. Ooh, wrap around DDT. Jacqueline goes for the pin. 1, 2. As near to a near fall as we've had. Ivory taking Lisa Rivera out of the equation briefly. Whips her to the outside. Josie Rod counters Jacqueline with the dragon screw. Lisa Rivera on the outside apron. Josie steps outside, rolls back in for a reset. Goes right back to work on Jacqueline Moore. Jacqueline counters with a forearm. Josie Rod, hard whip to the ropes. Here she comes. Quick Olay and a step out of the way and a DDT to Jacqueline. Josie Rod. Las Reinas definitely showing out here, man. A stomp to the back of Jacqueline. Josie joins her on the outside. Jacqueline gets a hold of her, snap suplex. Out there on the floor with the ref counting. Jacqueline tries for the Hurricane Rana, wound up getting slammed face first into the floor. A forearm, a left, a right, a spinning back fist, a shot to the back of Jacqueline. And a suplex. Followed up with a stomp right to the face. A driving knee right into the head of Jacqueline. Jacqueline rounded up by Josie. Josie quickly countered by Jackie. Jackie countered by Josie. Jackie counters Josie. Wow. What an intense ride we've got going here. German suplex to Jacqueline from Josie Rod. The Hurricane Rana finds the mark that time. Jacqueline rounds up Josie. Tries for the leg sweep, but winds up catching a kick to the chest. Man, these girls are fast. A forearm from Josie. Jacqueline rolled back inside the ring. And here comes Josie Rod. Jacqueline face down on the canvas. Josie Rod delivers a stomp to the back of the head of Jacqueline. Jacqueline gets a hold of the leg, counters with a dragon screw. Jackie gathers up Josie, goes behind on her, German suplex with a pin, but nope, too close to the ropes. Jacqueline's starting to get a little bit frustrated, and she's got a hot temper too. Stomp to the arm from Josie Rod. Josie quickly back up, catches a kick, winds up in the corner, counters with an elbow and escapes the corner, gets a hold of Jacqueline, whips her to the Las Reinas corner. Wow. Jacqueline counters with a kick, gets herself out of danger. There's an elbow from Josie. Josie rounds her up for a, Michinoku driver with a pin. 1, 2. Again. Another near fall in this wild and crazy matchup. Josie Rod up on the top turnbuckle, big time flying crossbody across the chest of Jacqueline. Josie Rod quickly goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3. That is gone. I do not believe it. Los Reinas Latinas picking up another win over Jackie and Ivory. Wow.
The time was 12 minutes and 10 seconds, and your winners, Los Reinas.
Okay, now, I'm convinced these two women, the newest arrivals within the Guns family dynasty, totally have the family genetics on their side. Jackie and Ivory were totally trying to get this win and bust Los Reinas' streak, and it still didn't work. I'm sure every ladies' tag team on the roster's paying attention, and if they're not, well, more the fool them.
And so, the way impressive unbeaten streak continues for Josie and Lisa. And I'm with Wally here. Even the women's World Tag Team Champions Power and Beauty had better be taking notes.
Up next, International Champion Big Jake Blackwell when we come back.
Next, as Black Friday continues, Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig with a chance to snag the RWL International Championship, and the only thing standing in his way is the man of the people, Big Jake Blackwell.
The next match is set for one fall with a 15-minute time limit, and it is for the RWL International Championship.
So here's the rundown on how we got here. The Heenan family has a fair variety of stars on their roster, but not a single championship belt for their display case. And so, it falls to the perfect one to try and get a hold of the international title and earn a little respect for the family. But he's up against it big time, facing Jake Blackwell, part of the Stronghold, who have been, and remain, the dominant force around here when it comes to championship gold.
You said a mouthful, Wally. When it comes to the widest variety of title holders, there's no stable in our WL as well positioned as the Stronghold, and they don't tend to drop those titles either. Big Jake has kept his grip on that international belt for quite some time now, with even former international champions unable to knock the man off the top of the mountain.
Gianni, honey, I understand how you feel about the Stronghold, and about Sylvia Strong herself. But you can't ignore Kurt Hennig's reputation here. We've already seen one upset tonight, with Bads Beckwith regaining the ladies' Northern title. And we might be due for another here.
You can forget it, Christy. There's no changing Johnny's mind on this.
Christy, you made a couple of good points, but my faith in Sylvia and her stable is as strong as hers in her clients. The state of constant preparedness she keeps her people in has always given them an edge. And that's the reason, like I said a minute ago, is why her clients rarely drop a title match. In fact, the only time it happened this year was Wilcox and Hollywood taking the Snarl tag belts from the Psychedelics over the summer. But the freak and wild thing came roaring back to regain the titles just 3 weeks later. An upset is possible, but not probable. And I'll stand by that any day of the week.
You cannot argue Johnny Bianco on this matter, Christy. Mr. Cakes has got his mind made up.
The challenger from Robbinsdale, Minnesota, weighing 235 pounds, Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig. And his opponent accompanied by Sylvia Strong, from New York City weighing 262 pounds, the RWL International Champion, Big Jake Blackwell.
Far too difficult to hazard a guess as to a winner here. Big Jake Blackwell, of course, has been unshakable as international champion, but we cannot ignore the skills of Kurt Hennig.
And so we got us one more title match in this super fat supercard, and it's been so fat the doctor warned it to stay the hell away from the fried foods. Referee Walt Rothburn rings the bell. Here we go. They come center ring. They lock it up, collar and elbow. Mr. Perfect catches some elbows to the midsection from Jake Blackwell. Jake with a right puts Perfect up against the ropes. He gets pitched over the top rope and out onto the floor. And Mr. Perfect's coming right after him. Kick to the midsection from Curt Hennig. Jake with a tilt-a-whirl slam on Curt Hennig on the outside, with Walt Rothburn already counting a rolling elbow to the back of Mr. Perfect. Blackwell locks it up. There's another kick to the midsection. And from a Dragon Sleeper, oh man, into a nasty face-first suplex from the man of the people. The International Champion, oh man, right into the ring steps. I don't think he meant to do that. I think he meant to get him back inside the ring, but Jake Blackwell takes himself inside just the same. Mr. Perfect gets to a slow standing position with the referee counting. And here we go. Curt Hennig back inside the ring here. Locks it up with Jake, catches another knee to the midsection. Blackwell whips him into the far right corner, misses with the splash. Mr. Perfect steps out of the way. And whoa, a wraparound DDT. Head first into the floor goes Blackwell. There's a drop toe hold from the Perfect one. And a leg stretch. But Jake Blackwell shifts his weight, tags Curt Hennig with a couple of rights, and gets himself loose from the hold. Everybody back up on their feet, and jumping neckbreaker takes Perfect down to the canvas. A kick right, well, you know where. Mr. Perfect shoves him away with both boots, gets back up, rounds up Jake Blackwell, snaps the arm, winds it up, turns it into an armbar. The Perfect one with the edge at the present time. A rolling elbow to the back of the International Champion, Big Jake Blackwell. Trying to get back up to his feet, but Mr. Perfect right there. There's another neckbreaker, taking Blackwell down to the mat. Perfect misses with the clothesline. Jake Blackwell gets a hold of him, has him up over the shoulder, takes a little walk with him, and drops him head first into the turnbuckle. Perfect quickly counters with a kick to the head of Jake Blackwell, and so does Jake Blackwell. Here, matching each other move for move. Wow. A jawjacker from Curt Hennig. A swing and a miss, but a clothesline for Big Jake Blackwell to Mr. Perfect. Kick to the midsection from Curt Hennig. Jake Blackwell whipped to the ropes. And Mr. Perfect with a beautiful neckbreaker. Blackwell laid out center ring. Mr. Perfect takes himself to the top turnbuckle. Here he comes. Elbow drop right across the chest of Big Jake Blackwell. And here's our first pin. One. And barely just one. Blackwell powers out, catches a kick from Mr. Perfect. A stomp to the back. Blackwell still not up off on his feet. There's a kick right to the leg from Curt Hennig. Blackwell crawls his way to the corner. Here comes Mr. Perfect. Blackwell counters, gets himself up out of the corner, and misses with the jumping neckbreaker. Catches a kick to the chest from Curt Hennig. Curt Hennig rounds up Jake Blackwell, snaps the arm again, and goes right back into the armbar. He's wearing out the arms and legs, hoping for a submission later on. At least that's what I think he's doing. Blackwell, again, at a disadvantage as Mr. Perfect tags him with a couple of rights, a kick to the midsection, and another DDT. And Perfect going for another pin. One. Not even a one. Big Jake Blackwell definitely giving Curt Hennig a tough time here. Tries for the bear hug, but Blackwell tags him with a couple of elbows to the side of the head. And into a power slam out of no place. Wow, that was impressive. There's a stomp to the arm of Curt Hennig, a stomp to the midsection from Big Jake Blackwell. Blackwell drives all of his weight into Curt Hennig's lower back. Takes himself all the way up to the far right turnbuckle. Here he comes. Boom! Elbow drop right across the back of Curt Hennig. Blackwell rounds him up, swings and misses, but counters Hennig against the ropes. And again, over the top rope, out onto the floor, goes Blackwell. And the international title on the line in this matchup. Big Jake Blackwell taking his time about getting back in there. And Perfect right there to tag him with the right. Joins him outside on the apron, and he's going to slam him right into the lip of it. Just letting gravity do the work for him. Curt Hennig rounds him up. Drop toe hold on the outside with referee Walt Rothburn already counting. And Curt Hennig again working on the arms and legs of Jake Blackwell, but a couple of hard shots to the face cuts Blackwell loose. Oof, man, running kick right to the face of Curt Hennig. All right. And an arm drag counter from Curt Hennig. A forearm to Blackwell. Blackwell taken down to the floor with a classic wrestling takedown from Curt Hennig. The perfect one with a right, a chop, another chop, and still another. Blackwell driven into the barricades. Curt Hennig with a Russian leg sweep right into the barricade. Hennig rounds up Blackwell, but decides to take himself into the ring, allowing the referee to continue the count on Big Jake Blackwell, who just snapped out of it. He does not look pleased. Blackwell caught from behind by Curt Hennig. Hard whip to the ropes, and kitchen sink knee to the gut again. Perfect one for another pin, one. Not even just about a one. Curt Hennig winds up the arm and snaps it on Blackwell. That looked painful. Big Jake Blackwell gathered up again. Counters with the knee to the midsection of Mr. Perfect. A hard right from Perfect. And again taken down to the canvas. Big Jake Blackwell. A stomp to the back of the head. Well, if you're going by the numbers, Curt Hennig seems to have most of the advantage. Look at this, a crossface. A possible submission here. Referee Walt Rothburn checking on Blackwell. This is not a good situation for the man of the people. Here's Blackwell. Powers out of the hold, tags Perfect with a shot and gets himself loose. Blackwell charges and a clothesline takes Curt Hennig down. Blackwell gathers him up again, a quick jab and a bionic elbow right to the top of the dome. And here's Jake Blackwell's first pin. 1, 2. Well, almost a near fall. Big Jake Blackwell trying to turn things around here. Through the ropes and takes down Curt Hennig on the outside. A high-risk maneuver that definitely paid off. Blackwell drops a big elbow across the chest of Mr. Perfect. Blackwell locks him up, drives him into the ring steps. The referee continues to count. Big Jake Blackwell rounds up Mr. Perfect. Takes himself back inside the ring, allowing the referee to continue the count. Blackwell urging Mr. Perfect to get back in. Changes his mind. He's going to go out after him, huh? Look at this. Blackwell catches another tilt-a-whirl slam on the outside. A big-time elbow drop across the chest again. Big Jake Blackwell rounds up Curt Hennig. Hennig with a kick to the midsection. Blackwell pitches him to the other side of the ring on the outside, makes his way back inside. And again, the referee counting on Curt Hennig on the outside. And again, Blackwell restarts the count. Hennig misses with the jumping neck breaker. Blackwell goes behind on him, tries for the suplex, but no good. Countered by Curt Hennig with an uppercut. Blackwell rolls back inside the ring. Mr. Perfect's already busted open. This one's been crazy. Mr. Perfect with another wrap-around DDT to Big Jake Blackwell and a short clothesline takes Blackwell down. Sylvia Strong got to be a little bit concerned here. Big Jake Blackwell taken down again. He has spent way too much time on the canvas in this matchup. Hennig winds him up. Delivers the stomp to the shoulder. Mr. Perfect on a mission to get that international title away from Blackwell, and he's not doing too bad of a job of it right now. A stomp right to the face of the man of the people. A driving knee to the back of the head of Big Jake Blackwell. A stomp to the arm. Curt Hennig with a measured elbow to the face of Big Jake Blackwell, followed it up with a couple of stomps. Sylvia Strong looking a little bit worried. There's a knee right to the head of Blackwell. He's laid out. Oh, this is not good. Curt Hennig in control of this matchup right now. Blackwell counters with a kick to the head, gets himself back up on his feet. All right, but a counter, a hip toss from Curt Hennig. Curt Hennig trying to figure out where he's going to go with this next. Decides to gather Blackwell up to a standing position. A spinning elbow right to the face of Blackwell. Curt Hennig takes himself topside and misses with the leg drop and definitely hurt his butt. Man, did you see that? Big Jake Blackwell slammed him face first into the canvas. 1, 2. Nope. Hennig getting that left shoulder up just in time. Big Jake Blackwell trying to turn things around here after being at a disadvantage for most of this matchup. Dribbling. Curt Hennig off the ropes with shots to the back. And now dribbling his head on the canvas like a basketball. Followed up with a set of hard right hands to the head of the Perfect One. Mr. Perfect back up on his feet. Both these men busted open. There's another DDT to Blackwell, but he's trying to get right back up. Look at this right here. Hennig takes him down. Sets him up. Got the legs locked, got the surfboard, and then a stomp right to the back of the head of Big Jake Blackwell. Blackwell turned around again. Curt Hennig. Cross from the sharpshooter, but too close to the ropes. Referee calls for the break. Enziguri right to the side of the head to the open wound of Mr. Perfect. A rolling elbow from Blackwell. Big Jake taking himself to the far left turnbuckle. Hennig's laid out. Ooh, man, senton off the top rope. Blackwell covers, hooks the leg. 1, 2, 3, and well, there you go. Big Jake Blackwell retaining the International Championship yet again.
The time was 12 minutes and 13 seconds. Your winner and still international champion, Big Jake Blackwell.
So, there you have it, Christy. I meant no disrespect to you. I know you're super knowledgeable about all things RWL. You haven't been here a lot longer than me, but I also know Sylvia and the inner workings of the Stronghold.
No offense taken, GB. I get it. And I guess you were right about this match. But let's admit that you're partial too, for obvious reasons.
Well, all right, gang, we are going to conclude the second hour tonight with the Ladies Tag Trio Championships being defended as Dakota Kai, Blair Davenport, and Carmella challenge Dynamite, Jeannie Parker, Mimi Emerson, and Jet Williams, the Ladies Tag Trio Champions, Les Femmes Fatales.
This next match, set for one fall with a 20-minute time limit, is for the RWL Ladies Tag Trio Championships. First, the challengers from Auckland, New Zealand, Blair Davenport, from Staten Island, New York, Carmella, and also from New Zealand, Dakota Kai. They are the Future Endeavored.
The Future Endeavored have spent a lot of time licking their wounds since the War Games match in September. But tonight they've got a chance to make it, to get the Ladies Tag Trio titles away from Les Femmes Fatales. But as we all know, that's a very tall order.
A tall order it might be, Myron, but they are just one pin or submission away from making it happen for themselves.
Their opponents from Raleigh, North Carolina, Goddess Mimi Emerson, from Washington, D.C., Jet Williams, and from Richmond, Virginia, dual champion Dynamite Jeannie Parker, the RWL Ladies Tag Trio Champions, Les Femmes Fatales.
And we would be remiss to not mention the fact that Jet Williams and Mimi Emerson are also the Rage Ladies Tag Team Champions. And Dynamite Jeannie Parker, certainly proud of her young proteges, Jet Williams and Mimi Emerson, her former tag team partner in Les Femmes Fatales, but now one big happy family with a whole bunch of championship gold around their waists.
Busy few weeks for Les Femmes with this title defense tonight. And Jet and Mimi will be defending those Rage Ladies tag belts this upcoming Monday at Rage on December 1st. One of the first title defenses for the month of December, as the Memphis Million draws ever closer.
And I get to figure out who they'll be facing. That's going to be fun. Going to be Blair Davenport and the Sexy Soul Sister of the Squared Circle starting us off in this Ladies Tag Trio title match as Walt Rothburn rings the bell. The ladies come center ring. They lock it up. Jeannie Parker right away with a couple of wrist clutch elbows to the side of the head of Blair Davenport, and down she goes. Jeannie starts beating Davenport's head against the canvas. Jeannie Dynamite with a drop kick to the back of the head. Blair Davenport catches a stomp to the arm as the Queen makes her way to the top turnbuckle. Look at this, Dakota Kai trying to put a stop to it. Davenport back up on her feet, and here comes Parker, crossbody with a pin and a hook of the leg. Wow. One. Oh, well now. This one's gonna be a ride and a half for sure. Davenport rounded up, counters Jeannie Parker with an elbow to the leg, follows that up with a right. Parker shoves her back, misses with the jumping neckbreaker. Davenport goes behind Parker, counters and escapes the hold. A right that don't even faze Parker. Woohoo, a forearm, another one. A kick to the midsection from Blair Davenport, who slams Parker face down into the canvas. Jeannie counters with a shot to the midsection. Davenport counters too. Parker shoves her back, and whoa, Hurricane Rana from the Queen. Oh man. Jeannie Parker gathers up Blair Davenport, escorting her to the Les Femmes Fatale corner, head first into the buckle she goes. Here comes Jet Williams, and a double team incoming for Blair Davenport. Double shoulders, takes Davenport down. Jet Williams takes over for her team, makes herself her way to the top turnbuckle here. Blair Davenport, just about center ring, stands up. Oh well, that high-risk maneuver did not pay off. A miscalculation in distance. Davenport, whip to the ropes. Kitchen sink knee to the midsection. Jet Williams with a stomp to the back. Drives the knee right into the arm of Blair Davenport. And Blair Davenport might want to think about tagging out at this point. Here comes Jeannie Parker again. The women's world champion and 1/3 of the ladies tag trio champions moves in. On Davenport, there's a drop kick to the back of the head. Jeannie Dynamite takes herself to the top turnbuckle here, as Blair Davenport makes it to a standing position. Dakota Kai again. Well, Carmella trying to put a stop to it. The crossbody doesn't fully nail her, but she goes down. Jeannie Parker pretty happy with herself on that one. Here comes Dakota Kai on the tag. Jeannie Parker and Dakota Kai both missed their move there. Dakota with the upper hand here. Here's a forearm, takes Parker down to the canvas. She turns it over to Carmella. Well, now, Jeannie Parker rounds up Carmella. Hard whip to the ropes. Oof. Drop kick to the knee of Carmella. Kick to the midsection, a second one, and a headbutt. Takes Carmella down to the mat. Oh, man, she felt that one. Hard kick to the leg from Jeannie Dynamite. Here comes Jet Williams again. Les Femmes Fatale, working like a well-oiled machine so far. Jet takes herself to the top turnbuckle. Here she goes. Elbow drop right across the chest of Carmella. Carmella finding herself with some problems here. Kick to the midsection again from Jet Williams. Jet whips her over the top rope out onto the floor on the Femme Fatale side of town. Not a good place to be. Jet Williams gets hung up by Blair Davenport. Jeannie Parker slams Carmella's head to the floor on the outside, the referee counting. Jeannie Dynamite with a snap suplex, and Jet Williams has taken down. Looks like Blair Davenport. Jet Williams makes her way back inside, goes after Dakota Kai too. Couple of hard shots to her. Jeannie Parker drives Dakota Kai into the barricade. Oh, man. Whole lot going on here. You're going to have to forgive me. This is hard to keep up with. Mimi Emerson comes in on the tag. Gets a hold of Carmella. Carmella whipped to the ropes. Tried for a belly-to-belly, but no good. Carmella counters. Slams Mimi Emerson's head to the canvas. There's a kick to the head from Mimi. Rebound off the ropes, a flying punch. Takes Carmella down the mat. Mimi goes for the cover. One. Blair Davenport right there to break it up. Emerson rounds up Carmella again. Carmella counters with elbows. Backs off Mimi. Misses with the move there. Mimi whipped to the corner. There's an elbow from Carmella that takes Mimi Emerson down into the corner. There's a set of kicks right to the chest of Mimi Emerson. Emerson gathered up again. Carmella. Now she's the one catching elbows to the midsection. Mimi Emerson gets a hold on Carmella and opens up with a withering set of shots, including a drop kick that takes her down to the canvas again. Mimi Emerson steps out, steps back in. Carmella makes her way to her team's corner, the Future Endeavor corner. Here comes Blair Davenport on the tag. Davenport catches a running kick from Mimi Emerson, who goes after Carmella just the same, hurls her over the top rope and out onto the floor. Blair Davenport catches a shot from Mimi. Emerson, with a wrist clutch forearm, takes her down. Carmella's laid out. Dakota Kai at her corner. There's a driving knee to the head of Blair Davenport from Mimi Emerson. Another running kick that takes her down on the mat. Mimi up on the middle rope and boom! Drives a knee right into the chest of Blair Davenport. And here comes Dynamite Jeannie Parker again. Parker sets it up, the split leg drop. Oh man, this could be it right here. But no. Nope. Dakota Kai right there to break it up. Jet Williams gets a hold of her, pitches her to the outside. Blair Davenport counters Jeannie Parker with an elbow. Parker counters with an elbow too. Ooh, jumping neck breaker to Blair Davenport. Mimi Emerson brought in on the tag again. Les Femmes Fatales seemingly in control of things at the present time. As Mimi takes herself to the top turnbuckle, here we go, another elbow across the back of Blair Davenport. Mimi covers and hooks the leg, one, but Carmella breaks up the pin. Dakota Kai laid out on the outside. Mimi Emerson countered by Blair Davenport with a kick to the midsection. Mimi counters with a kick to the midsection, rebounds off the middle rope. Ooh, what a double kick taking her down. A little bit of showboating right here from Mimi Emerson as Carmella comes in on the tag. Carmella catches a knee to the head from Mimi. Mimi catches a shot from Dakota Kai. Carmella counters with a kick. Gets a hold of Mimi Emerson, snap suplex to Mimi. Carmella with a disrespectful slap to the face of Mimi Emerson, and that's not going to fly for very long. Emerson escorted to the Future Endeavor's corner. Head first into the turnbuckle she goes. Here comes Blair Davenport on the tag. Here comes a double team to Mimi Emerson as she is whipped to the ropes. Catches a double back body drop as Blair Davenport assumes control for her team. A stomp to the face of Mimi Emerson. Blair Davenport just evades the running kick, but opens up with a series of shots to Mimi, including an enziguri to the side of the head. Down she goes. Mimi Emerson in trouble here for the first time in the matchup as Dakota Kai comes in on the tag and takes over for the Future Endeavor. Mimi back on her feet. Both ladies missed their move again. They lock up, kick to the midsection from Mimi Emerson. A spinning back fist doesn't find the mark, but oh man, Dakota Kai takes Mimi down. Belly to back suplex, a driving knee into the back of Mimi Emerson. Dakota off the top rope with an elbow drop right across the back of Mimi. Here comes Carmella again. Carmella takes over. Mimi Emerson laid out near center. Slams. Carmella down to the canvas, takes a walk to her corner. Here comes Dynamite Jeannie Parker again. The Queen catches. Whoa, what a beautiful move right there from Carmella. Got to give the devil her due right there. Parker quickly back up on her feet. Too late. Here comes Blair Davenport on the tag. Jeannie locks her up. Whips her to the ropes. Ducks under. Here comes Dakota. Ooh, look at this. Quick put on the brakes by Dakota Kai and a hard shot to Jeannie Parker. And another. Jeannie Parker being backed up over here. Here's a knee to the midsection from Parker. A rebound off the middle rope. Whoa, moonsault takes down Dakota Kai. Okay. Jet Williams brought in on the tag. Dakota Kai standing center ring. Ooh, connects with a kick to Jet Williams. Here comes Carmella. Jet Williams back up on her feet. And again, Carmella with that beautiful move right there. A kick to the face of Jet Williams. Jet rounded up. Carmella escorts her to her team's corner. Head first into the turnbuckle goes Jet Williams, and here comes Dakota Kai on the tag. A double team. Another back body drop. Jet Williams rounded up here. A drop kick to the back from Dakota Kai. Dakota up on the top turnbuckle. Big time flying crossbody. Here's a pin and a hook of the leg. 1, 2. Just a 2. Jeannie Parker shows Carmella the door. Dakota Kai rounds up Jet Williams. Escorts her to her team's corner. Head first into the turnbuckle goes Jet again. Jet counters with an elbow. Catches a cheap shot from Blair Davenport. There's a kick to the midsection from Jet. Jet with a belly-to-belly suplex to Dakota Kai. Carmella laid out on the outside. Dakota counters with a shot. Gets back up. Running kick. Takes Jet Williams down to the canvas. Here comes Blair Davenport again. And here comes Jeannie Parker. Blair Davenport misses with her move. Parker gathers her back up to a standing position. Quickly countered by Blair Davenport. Parker rounded up for a vertical suplex, but Parker quickly counters. Chop block to the back of the leg of Blair Davenport. Tries for the wheelbarrow, doesn't get it, winds up catching a knee to the head. Jet Williams driven to the outside by Blair Davenport. Parker slammed to the canvas. Blair Davenport with a spinning neckbreaker to Jeannie Parker. Parker back up on her feet. Blair Davenport moves in. Parker gets a hold of her. Whips her to the ropes. Nice arm drag from the Queen. Again, the ladies tag trio titles on the line here. Here's a pin. But Dakota Kai right there to break it up. Blair Davenport with a hard right to Jeannie Parker. A kick to the midsection and a DDT takes Parker down to the canvas. Parker rolls to the outside. Blair Davenport hung up by Mimi Emerson. Jet Williams getting back to her feet. Parker gets back inside the ring. Locks it up with Blair Davenport. There's a knee to the midsection. They lock it up. Davenport whipped to the ropes. Jeannie Parker with another arm drag. Flips Davenport over. She rolls to the outside. Decides she's had enough. Goes after Jet Williams. Catches an elbow. And on the wrong side of town here, Russian leg sweep. Slamming her head into the floor. Jeannie Parker stretching her on the outside with the referee counting. And Jeannie Parker's got it locked in pretty good. Blair Davenport in all kinds of trouble here on the outside. Struggles to try to get herself free. Tags Parker with a couple of lefts to the face. Gets herself back up slowly. Locks it up with Jeannie Parker. Drives her towards the barricades near the corner. Oh, looks like we're going to brawl on the outside here for a minute. There's a knee to the midsection. Parker locks her up. Slams Blair Davenport into the barricades. Gets a hold of her. A snap suplex on the floor on the outside. Referee continuing the count. As Parker makes her way back in, Blair Davenport still laid out on the outside. Jeannie Parker going to go after Carmella too. Hangs her up. Off the top rope and down she goes. Tags Dakota Kai with a couple of shots. Oh, man. Dakota Kai hung up on the top rope. All three members of the Future Endeavor are laid out. And here comes Jet Williams again. It is definitely looking bad for the Future Endeavor right about now. Jet Williams up on the top turnbuckle as Blair Davenport makes it to a standing position here, and a double axe handle finds the mark across the head of Blair Davenport. Jet Williams drives a knee into Davenport's arm. Davenport gathered up again, misses with the kick just barely, gets a hold. Up into the ring post time, into the ring post time, into the ring post time, into the ring post time. Oh, man, got to do it twice today. Up over the shoulders goes Jet Williams. Blair Davenport drives her into the barricade, and down she goes. Davenport makes her way back into the ring. Referee Walt Rothburn not even going to be able to count. Jet Williams gets back in. There's an elbow from Jet to Blair Davenport. Davenport counters with a kick to the midsection. Jeannie Parker tags her with a cheap shot. Jet Williams with the full Nelson, but Blair Davenport must be wise to that move. Finds her way out. Tags Jet with a shot to the back of the head. Jet Williams goes behind on her German suplex. Sends her rolling. Blair Davenport makes her way to a standing position on the apron. Jeannie Parker tags her with a right and takes her down to the floor. Jet Williams with a shoulder to Dakota Kai and Carmella. Now she's out on the outside with Dakota Kai and slams her into the lip of the apron. Blair Davenport laid out in the middle of the ring. And the Future Endeavor definitely looking like they are having more than their share of problems. Jet Williams comes in. Blair Davenport, a suplex with a bridge and a pin. Jet Williams quickly finds her way out. Jet back to a standing position. gets a hold of Blair Davenport, and here we go. There's that tombstone stretch. A submission move right there. And that is it. The bell is rung. It is over. The future Endeavors have just taken a big-time loss to Les Femmes Fatales, who retained the Ladies Tag Trio Championship. Let's go get the official time.
The time was 15 minutes, 38 seconds. Your winners and still Ladies Tag Trio Champions, Les Femmes Fatales.
Would someone please pin a medal to the chest of Hangman Tex Lynch for carrying through that match? It was absolute bedlam. I don't know how you did it.
Neither do I, but nonetheless, Jet Williams picking up another submission win for Les Femmes Fatales, retaining the Ladies Tag Trio Championships, and she made Blair Davenport tab hot, quick, and in a hurry. We'll be back with the third hour of Black Friday right after this brief intermission.